Before we begin this chilling story, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. These are the stories that deserve to be heard, and your support helps keep their voices alive. She was on the verge of breaking a story that could have taken down a political dynasty. Instead, her last known words were scribbled in a notebook found floating in a drainage ditch. Pages smeared, but one sentence stood out. "If anything happens to me, don't believe it was an accident." Grace Holloway wasn't the type to vanish. A hard-nosed investigative journalist from Dayton, Ohio, Grace had a reputation for fearlessness and integrity. At 34, she had already exposed 3 major corruption cases, sending city officials to jail and earning threats in return. But she didn't back down, not even when her own apartment was broken into and her laptop was wiped clean. In early October 2021, Grace was chasing her biggest story yet. According to friends, she was investigating a case involving alleged human trafficking tied to a prominent congressman's campaign funding. The names she had scribbled in her notebook weren't just local criminals. They were powerful, protected individuals. She told her editor she was close, just one more interview, one more piece of evidence. That was the last time anyone saw her. Her car was found abandoned 3 days later on a quiet back road 40 miles outside Dayton. The driver's door was open, keys still in the ignition, and Grace's purse sat untouched on the passenger seat. But her recorder and notebook were gone. The police initially suspected she walked into the woods, possibly under duress, but no footprints were found. Her phone was never recovered, and her social media accounts were locked. There were no signs of struggle, and no security footage from the nearby gas station that might have caught her on camera. Her family feared the worst. Her younger sister, Ava, told reporters, "Grace said if she went missing, we should assume someone silenced her." They thought it was paranoia. Now they weren't so sure. 2 weeks later, a sanitation worker found a waterlogged notebook wedged inside a storm drain in a rundown neighborhood in Cincinnati, over 150 miles from where Grace was last seen. It was Grace's. Most of the pages were smudged beyond recognition. But on the inside flap, scribbled hastily in red ink, were 3 sentences. "They know I'm close. If anything happens to me, don't believe it was an accident. It's not just about trafficking, it's bigger." That note turned Grace's disappearance from a possible accident to a potential criminal conspiracy. Investigators dug deeper into her last known activities. They traced her final movements to a meeting with a former campaign staffer turned whistleblower, a woman named Elise Monroe. Monroe claimed Grace had uncovered financial records linking PAC funds to offshore accounts suspected of laundering human trafficking profits. Before police could get to her, Monroe fled the state. Days later, her burned-out car was found in Missouri. She was never heard from again. One by one, the people Grace had interviewed began either disappearing or retracting their stories. Some claimed they'd never even spoken to her. Others said they were done talking before going completely off the grid. Her editor received an anonymous envelope a month later. Inside was a USB drive with portions of a draft article, audio interviews, and a single blurry photo of a man in a dark suit handing an envelope to a woman outside a government building. The metadata on the drive showed the files were altered after Grace vanished. With the police case going cold, Ava Holloway launched a campaign to find out the truth. She started a podcast, Where is Grace?, and began collecting testimonies from former sources, tech experts, and private investigators. Through this relentless pursuit, she uncovered that a major law enforcement official had been assigned to Grace's case, and had also once been employed by the very political family Grace was investigating. Conflict of interest? Or something darker? Ava began receiving anonymous threats. Her apartment was broken into, nothing stolen except a voice recorder. Still, she pressed on. In late 2023, a private investigator linked a recently uncovered trafficking route in Kentucky back to a shell company Grace had been investigating. It wasn't proof of murder, but it was proof Grace had been right. She was closing in on something that someone didn't want the world to see. Grace Holloway has been missing for over 3 years. Her body was never found. Her article was never published in full. But her story lives on, through her sister, through those who continue to investigate, and through every person who refuses to let powerful criminals hide behind silence. Some say she was silenced forever. Others believe she's still alive, hidden, held, or running for her life. One thing is certain, the truth Grace was chasing still matters. And until it comes to light, her story won't be forgotten. Candle, if this story moved you, Don't forget to subscribe and share this video. Let's keep Grace Holloway's name alive and make sure her voice, even if taken from us, never disappears.